Long time no see, I know. Well, I'm just out here for a small stroll on a walk between, yeah, the livelihood, the neighborhood. There is a football field next to me here as well, just behind there, in case you hear some people. You haven't seen and heard about me and on this channel for quite some time now. Just this last video that I posted about feeling safe, and I wanted to formally, quote unquote, check back in with you and see how you're all doing, and yeah, just get some updates, give you guys some updates. I obviously have not been on in literally over a year on this channel now. There have been a lot of things going on in my life. Most of them not directly COVID related, so that's a good thing. But yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of tasks in my private development, in my personal development, also with other projects, and so it really was necessary for me to pool my resources, very much so. And YouTube was one of those things where I was like, okay, at the moment the channel is relatively small. Me putting out videos every single week or every other week still requires a couple of hours of investment every single week. And I decided to stop posting for some time to really be able to dive more deeply into the things that required attention literally in my life in this foreign country here, which I like a lot, but still. And then also the personal development stuff and figuring some things out, taking time for new projects and stuff like that. But now I decided, okay, let's slowly move back into a more public zone here on YouTube as well. This will come with some minor changes, I think. You've seen the last video that I put out. It was more about this safety aspect, and there will be some more to come down that specific line. But in general, what I realized was that for the past years, literally almost every single one of my videos on the channel was focused very much so on some physical and biomechanical aspect of our existence, of our being, of being human, of optimizing movement, and so on and so on. And I still think this is an extremely important part, and it will always play a part also in my future videos. However, it is only a very small portion of all the things that I do. And so I figured, okay, why not dive into some of those other realms as well? Those areas where psychology, mindfulness, emotions, consciousness, and body merge even more. So, as opposed to purely talking about the physical part first, and then moving from the physical to, sorry for this noise. Like I said, I'm out here on a walk on the street right now. So, aside from the idea of moving from the physical and then just here and there throw a nugget in and say, oh, by the way, this physical aspect also has an effect on our emotions, on our mind, on our feeling, on our sensation, on our connections, on our relationships, and so on and so on. I think I want to bring this other component a little bit more into play as well. And also sometimes start from more of the psychological component, from more of the consciousness component, the feeling safe, the how to relate with our environment, how to relate with other people, how to relate with ourselves in a broader spectrum, not just a physical one. But then again, creating those backlinks into the physical part and how they are linked with each other. Just sort of turning the coin, shifting the main focus a little bit over to something that I always only graced so far, and now putting it a bit more into center. So that is part of what I envision for the next time. Please let me know what you think about that as well. I was always open for you guys to also sort of help move this channel forward and also bring in ideas, what you might want to know, questions that I might be able to answer through the channel and so on. And I mean, there is also, of course, a limit to what the container of this channel is able to hold. So if the questions go into a certain depth of really personal development and really personal specific questions that are almost already therapeutic in nature, then please also do understand when I say, okay, hang on, this is not something that I can still serve in the container of the channel or in the container of a video answer or a written answer or anything like that. And so there is plenty of possibilities out there, also to get in touch with me and with other people as well. And so in general, right now the main focus will still be to serve in this explanatory way, and everything that you know so far from me, the way I go deep in explanation and really in reasoning why certain things are in a certain way, in trying to shift perspectives as much as possible and deliver as many different perspectives for you as possible as well. This will still continue, even though the topic might shift slightly. But yeah, I think especially now, we all agree, I think, that movement is a highly valuable and important part of everyone's life and existence. But especially now, especially with what's been going on in the last couple of months and years by now, I think it's also important to bring in more of the other components, more of the elements of the psychological side of things, how to use also physical aspects to balance oneself in relationship regards and in that area of feeling safe. I mean, this is really a very, very central one, to be honest, that touches on to many different areas already. And yeah, I think this will just bring a little bit more life to the channel. It will bring more new perspectives and more angles to the whole game of what it really means to be us, to be a human being. And I think it's also a potentially important step to create still something relatable, something that has to do with this reality, with this physical reality that includes an emotional as well as mental, as well as energetic, consciousness, spiritual, if you will, reality as well, as opposed to just we have our body, we look at the body in a very mechanical point of view, and then nowadays we have, like I am on right now, our smartphones and our metaverse and all of those things that pop up as new developments and that tend to draw our attention away from what it is to be alive, away from what it is to really interact, like to interact, for example, with a beautiful, huge tree like this one. I mean, look at this beauty. It is just absolutely stunning. Yeah, And so yeah, I think this will be good. I, like always, I will in parts rely on your feedback. I will in parts rely on hearing from you if you want to go down that line a little more, down the line of experiencing life in a broader spectrum again. So not just the physical component, but the physical component as well as the psychological, emotional, and spiritual, if you will, component. All of those things that make us human, aside from our technology, aside from the possibilities that we create, but really the baseline of things relating to ourselves, relating to other people, relating to nature in itself, always with that focus of how can I apply this in a way that it fits my modern lifestyle, whatever that might be. And the demographics of people on my channel is quite interesting because many are from the States, Canada, or the UK. But then the second largest portion of people who watch my channel actually are from India, and then some other Asian countries. So also the demographics and the people who watch this content and want to know things is very interesting, which is one of the reasons why I try to create a broader spectrum of information so that everyone can sort of cherry pick their things out and have a positive benefit for their life. I'm not yet sure how much time in the next couple of months I can rededicate to YouTube. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I was off YouTube now for a little over a year, aside from the video about safety that I put out a week ago or so. But I will go back and be more active on this channel again. And so I already started, and this is really the personal kickoff to that. I thought I really want to talk to you guys in person with this live, totally informal video. You hear it's noisy around. There's like people playing football behind me. There is the street and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm back. I'm not yet sure if I can manage one video every single week, but it will be more content, definitely more content than the last year. And I'm curious to hear back from you as well. Right now I'm gonna go down further in that line of the safety that I started off with. That will be the prime focus of the next couple of videos for me. I will also, where necessary, and I received some comments on that already, where necessary I will also try to touch on and close some of the topics that I opened up over the last couple of years, and where there are still questions, where there is still people needing some additional information to make heads and tails out of this. That's absolutely fine. I will try to wrap things up a little bit more. And yeah, like I said, I'm really happy to go into that journey again, building this channel. I have some other very exciting projects running right now as well, some of which are online, some of which are offline. The online ones are, I can't say much about them yet, but the online ones are gonna be completely different, unlike anything you have ever seen from me or anyone else for that matter. But they will wrap around similar topics like health, personal development, personal growth, becoming free, becoming independent, having this tool set in your backyard, quote unquote, that allows you to pull whatever resource you need at a certain given time and then do something positive for yourself. So all of those things, they will continue, and that direction will basically continue across other projects that I have as well. I will let you know as soon as they are launched. Might be interesting for some of you guys. And since you know me for quite some time already, it would also be fun down the line to get your feedback on those later on. So, yeah. Also, for those who celebrate this time a year, I hope you enjoy whatever it is that you celebrate, even if there isn't anything specific because your culture is different. Just still have a beautiful time. Enjoy your time. Really dive into living and try to reconnect with living and with life as much as possible. Whether that be through movement or that's through a meditative approach or a breathing approach, whatever it might be, a relational approach, like touching a tree, going for a swim in nature, something like that, especially in the time right now. Aside from all medical benefits and all we can discuss down the line of that, like the positive impact on the immune system from nature and stuff like that, we can talk about that for ages and bring out studies and all of this. But aside from all of that scientific data, one of the most important components of this deeper relation with oneself, deeper relation with nature, deeper relation also with other people, is really that connective element. And not to lose that real life interaction and that real life connectivity to oneself, to nature, to other people, because there is so much technology pushing in, whether that's metaverse, cryptocurrency, and all of those things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to all of those things, but I see many of them as a potential danger to the independence of what it actually means to be human. Some of them support that independence. Some of them that have more this Web 3.0 idea behind artificial intelligence thing, I see those very critical with regard to what it will do to the psyche and also the physique of us humans. But yeah, we are in this at the moment all together. There is no way of fighting that. There is no way of getting back out of that. So it's about finding ways of staying and being oneself and a still functional biological organism, no matter how much we see ourselves as highly sophisticated biological organisms. But still, there are so many facets to us that we really need to tend to in order to have a free life, in order to be able to enjoy ourselves, in order to feel some sort of positive satisfaction and not just a dopamine rush from some likes, some clicks on social media or something like that. And I know many of you in my audience here on this channel, you are slightly different anyway. Not everyone, but many of you don't spend a lot of time on social media, which I think is awesome, but some do. And so again, it is something that I think is more and more important to sort of bring it into consideration as well and to talk about it as well, so that we don't completely lose sight of it. That's all. And it is part of the reality that we are in right now. Because of that, many ideas also in people we interact with change and so on. And it's important to just be conscious and to be aware of those things happening. And then it's just massively more easy to also deal with them and to find a healthy way of living still an independent life in all of this. Independent yet still connected, but not just connected via a mobile phone or things like that. I appreciate the possibility to be able to share information in this digital way. I'm just smiling because they go crazy in their football match next to me at the moment. Sorry for that. Um, but this is one of those examples, right? Like this is still real life physical interaction, and this is just amazing. It's amazing to have that, to have the possibility to have that, and some still use this. And some, especially right now, when I talk to friends and colleagues in Europe, many start to lose those real life interactions and connections more and more. And this is something where it's possible to do something about it. It's also possible to do something about that in the way we approach those interactions and those connections, starting from a place within, starting from slightly changing the way we interact with ourselves, with nature, and then also translating that to our interaction with other humans. And so I'm really excited and also curious about this journey and about sharing this journey with you guys, because I suppose through the questions that come from you, there will be a lot of angles and a lot of directions that open up that I haven't thought about yet. And see, this is part of why something like this is so incredibly interesting. Because it's never just I know everything and I share everything. It's never about that. It's about a co-creation. It's about being curious. It's about being creative. It's about listening to what you do, listening to what your requirements are, which most likely are completely different ones than mine because we live in different areas. My life is different than yours, and so on and so on. So what I can, and that brings me back to Beyond Systems, right? What I can educate you on, what I can try to provide for you, that's the better word than educate. What I can try to provide to you is a deeper understanding of the mechanics, a deeper understanding of how things work, the basic principles, as I always call them. And pulling those ideas of basic principles over from the purely physical into the emotional, into the mental, into the psychological in general, and the conscious, the spiritual, that I think is highly important right now. And that's why I'm going to go down deeper in that line as well. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm curious about all of this. See you around, guys. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, or anything else, enjoy your time. Take some time right now as well to just relax. It's a weekend. If you're not working, which some of you will, but if you're not working, then take some time. Maybe review some of the videos on the channel. Dive back into touching your body, interacting with your body, finding new ways of engagement. And then see you around in the next couple of days and weeks when I put out more and new content. And like I said, I invite you all to be part of that creational journey, because that is really how we all benefit from it. And I'm very much so interested in not just sharing what I see and what I think, but also getting ideas and input back that again allow me to see things from different perspectives, to research different angles, and then again come back with what I found, because that's what I do. And I know that many people out there, they do not have that chance. They do not have the time, they do not have the resource or the dedication to do that. For me, this is what I do and what my main focus is. All right, guys and girls, I wish you a wonderful time. See you around. All the best. And talk soon, chat soon. And see you in the upcoming videos. Thank you for still being here. And have a beautiful time. Take care.